Okay, so again, we're gonna first look at this week's artist. Again, this week's artist is going to be Felipe, and here's some examples of his work from 2000. No, this was like 1990s. He was about 10 years old when I showed him how to use Illustrator. Now he's almost 30, I would say. Or he's over 30, I think. But when he was like 10 years old, I saw him drawing things like this. He would draw, and he was always good at book illustration kind of thing. So I said, okay, well, let's scan it into the computer. So back then we had a scanner. We took the drawing and scanned it into the computer. And then with Illustrator, I taught him how to use the tools in Illustrator, the pen tool, of course. And there, of course, we could see he made the basic shapes inside of. Oh, look at the texture. Remember we learned how to make the patterns last class? See? He put them inside there. And then what he would do then is take them from Illustrator and bring them into Photoshop to enhance them. And as you can see here, basically mostly using the tool in Photoshop, we use what's called the dodge and burn tool. Okay, the burn tool would make darker areas, and the dodge tool would make lighter areas. Okay, there's a tool called dodge and burn that allows you to have these kind of swooshy things to go over top of your illustration, as well as darken areas with the burn tool. So that's sort of how these effects are done, dodge and burn. You can try that yourself inside of Photoshop. And so this would be the complete book illustration. And you can see all the books that he's done at his website. He mostly does line drawings, but he does a lot of books. And he does. These are all ink and line and ink drawings. But he has done some Illustrator in the past. And so here's some Illustrator stuff. I think maybe some of this could have been. No, I think these are ink. Yeah. Oh, here it is. This is the one with the Illustrator stuff. You can see the sample from the sample I had. There it is. You can see some samples there. Okay. He doesn't get paid very much. He did one book, they gave him $10 a page. Yeah. Took him a day to do one page, so he's making $10 a day.
Get him a visa.
Yeah. Oh, he can come here if he wants. He chooses to stay. His nieces, his sisters come and stay and stuff like that. Okay. That's just, if you got time, check it out. Felipe. Okay. Again, we're going to, if you look this week, your project for this week will be to draw an animal. It can be any kind of animal. There's some information here. There's some videos. We're recording what we're doing right now too. And I was thinking something from the Chinese zodiac would be good. But you don't have to do something from the Chinese. What is it? The year of the rooster, right? Okay. There was a big parade on Saturday, right? I missed it. I avoided the traffic. Okay, so I'll try and find some more animal samples for you to see. I don't know, I have a lot of samples from previous classes. But let's get started with the pen tool using, again, the pen tool inside of Illustrator. So again, I'm not going to worry about what size, but just make sure it's a normal 8.5 by 11 page. So I'm going to go under File, New, inside of Illustrator. And then, again, I'm going to choose Letter here. And I'm going to hit OK. So just make a new document. Again, the tool we're mostly going to use this week will be called the pen tool. It's the third one down on the left side. If you click on it, you'll notice and hold the mouse down, you'll see there's different types of pen tool. You got the pen tool. This will add a point to your pen to a line, or the stroke. Basically, think of a line as called a stroke. And this will delete a point. And then this is the convert one. Remember when we do the number 3, we're going to use this one, right? Okay, so let's start with the top one. Again, I'm going to use the pen tool by clicking once, letting my finger up. I'm going to go over here. Notice how it follows it. I'm going to click, let my finger up. And then if I hold the shift key down, it'll make sure it goes straight down without, and then boom. And there's a 1. Now here's the problem. If I do not deselect this and I say, okay, I'm going to come over. Oh, look, it keeps it. Okay, to deselect, you use the Command Shift A, and then you can start drawing again. And I'm sure there's another shortcut too. I can't remember what it is to start again, but the easiest one that I found was Command Shift A to stop doing it, and you can start a new one. I think you can also, if no, that's not it. Okay, so let's make a 2. Now again, watch how I make the 2. I'm going to click once and let my finger up. I'm going to come over here. Now, remember, I'm going to hold the mouse down and I'm going to drag kind of down on an angle by clicking with the left mouse and dragging. You'll notice you get these things that start popping up. These are called directional arms. You can see the arc, and we want the arc to go up. That's why I'm dragging down. If I dragged up, you'll notice the arc goes down, and we want to follow the line there. And I'm going to let my mouse up, and I'm going to come all the way over here. Look at how the 2's already starting to be a 2-like look. And then I'm going to click with my left mouse, let my finger up, and I'm going to hold the Shift key down and kind of click over here. And it's a beautiful 2. Again, if we hit Command Shift A, it'll deselect, and we can start again. Woo. So show me your 2. If you get it to go, show me your 2. Beautiful, beautiful. How was it 2? 2. Yeah, 2. Practice that. Make sure you know how to make an arc. Okay, you're gonna have to do something with this window. Cancel. Okay, so let's make a 3. Again, the 3. Okay, you don't want to click and drag first. Delete that. Click once. Let your finger up. Come over here. No, you just click once. Let you just click once. Don't click. Just no. You don't want to drag. Okay. Click and let your finger. And move your cursor over here. Click and hold the mouse down and drag down. There you go. This way a little bit more. No. Yeah. There you go. That's a little high. A little too far. Okay. You want it to go like this. You're going too far. Let your finger. Let the finger. And I'll click down. See, it looks like a 2. Click. And then Shift key. Come over here. Over here. Click. Put your finger up. Okay, Command Shift 3. Command Shift A, and your deselect. Let's start at 3. Again, 3 was quite easy. If you click once, hold the Shift key down, click again, hold the Shift key down, click again. 3 dots, and let your finger up. Okay, so I'm going to do Command Shift A to deselect. That's okay, don't worry about it. We're going to go over to the Convert tool. If you remember, I have 3 points. I have 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go over to this toolbar that's over here, and I'm going to hold the mouse down, and I'm going to go to the Anchor Point tool. This one, Anchor Point tool. I'm going to go over to the one that's all the way in the middle here, and I'm going to convert it to curvy ones. Again, I'm going to hold the mouse down, and I'm going to drag to the left. Look at the S. Remember I said I was going to kind of do that? Okay, and then I'm going to let my finger up, and I'm going to come over to this one right here. They had a little handle, and I'm going to hold down the Option key on the keyboard with my other hand, and I can move this around to this side. It almost looks like a 3 now, doesn't it? Okay, and then if you want to make it even beautiful, you can convert the end ones here to a curve, and then convert this end one to a curve, and make a beautiful 3. Okay, again, the tool is this one. After I make three dots, you then use this tool to convert the points to curvy points, and you can make a beautiful 3. See if you can do that. Beautiful 3. Beautiful 3. Very nice. On the center point, drag to the right. On the point on the finger up. Point that on the other side over here. Option key. Option key. Drag. Curve the other way. There you go. Let your finger up. Convert the top one so it's a nice arc. Nicer and convert the one do 4, you can probably figure out. That's pretty easy. I don't know. I might start at the bottom. Here, I would go like this. I would go boom, 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 boom. Start at the bottom for the 4. Start at the bottom for the 4. I find easiest. So I'm going to go to the pen tool again. I'm going to go boom once. Hold the shift key down. Boom. Come over here. Boom. And go right back here. Boom. Ah, look at that. Didn't work, did it? Okay. Well, you might need to click. The thing gets confused if you're on top of the line. It thinks you want to add a point because it thinks it's like you did this point here and then you come over here to this point and you notice it disappears because it thinks you want to put a point on this path. So you might need to click next to it and then have to move it if you want using. Remember, this one moves a point. Remember, this the white one moves 1 point at a time and then move it over. So just be aware that the pen tool sometimes it thinks if you're going over top of the line, the current line, it thinks you want to add to it, or it gets confused. So not everything you can do right on top of each other. Like when we get to doing the 8, it's going to have the same problem with the 8. So 5 is like a 2 somewhat, kind of upside down. I'm going to watch how I do a 5. Let's get rid of this thing. I'm going to go boom, hold the shift key down, boom, hold the shift key down, boom. Now I'm not going to hold the shift key down. I'm going to come over here kind of where the loop of the 5 would be, and I'm going to click with my left mouse and drag straight down. Look at that. It makes a nice curve right there. Hold the shift key down, makes it nice and straight too. And then go right underneath here, right underneath this other one here, boom. And then of course Command Shift A to deselect. Look at that beautiful 5. See if you can make a beautiful 5. And of course we can do the 6 if you want by using nothing but curves. I can do, think about it, it's best to put the least amount of dots you can, especially when we get to next week when we're doing fruit. You're going to want to use the least amount of dots because when you're using tools like the gradient mesh tool, the gradient mesh tool will add more points, and as you're adding more and the more points it gets more complex. So you try and make the things with the least amount of points that you can. So I remember in the 70s there was a TV show called Name That Tune. Anybody remember that? Probably not. And you had to name the song within a couple notes. So it's the same thing. You want to make the object with the least amount of dots you can. So let's think of the 6. I can go, let's see how many points I need for a 6. I'm going to click once, let my mouse up. I'm going to click over here, let my mouse up, and then maybe click here, and then all the way back over to here, kind of close, and then move the point here, right on top. And that looks like a 6, right? But that doesn't look like a very good 6, does it? Oh, maybe move that around. Move this down a little bit. Move this around. Move this. There we go, nice and curvy. Oh, look at that. That's a little better. Maybe this one needs a curve up there. Remember the convert tool? Maybe this one needs a curve. Oh, this way. There we go. Oh, that looks a little better. Oh, so remember, these can be used to manipulate the points. This one and this one. These two. The white selection tool and this one. No? Nobody remembers the name that tune in the 70s? How about the Gong Show? You remember that? Oh, okay, the Gong Show. Okay. The guy who he would smoke cigarettes on the show. Yeah.
Do you remember the paper bag comment? The guy who had the
You want to do, oh, no, look here and drag up. Look, no, you can't let your finger up. You really let your finger up. You gotta click and drag it up. Try it again. That's a good 6. Okay, let's just jump to the 8. Okay, let's jump to the 8. Because the 8's a little harder and a little complex. Okay, so let's zoom out. So here we go, 8. This is going to be all curvy points. So actually, I'm going to start with a curvy point. So I'm going to click the mouse and I'm going to drag this way. Notice these are directional arms. I'm holding the shift key so it's nice and straight across like that. I let my mouse up. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click and drag to the left this way. And I'm going to let my mouse up about the same distance as the other one. Let my mouse up. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click and drag this way. Ooh, you can see the 8's already starting to come around there. Let my mouse up and I'm going to click. Now I can't click right on top. It's going to try and remove it. Notice how there's a little minus shows up when I put my cursor right. It wants to delete that one. I don't want to delete it. So I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit. I'm going to go right underneath it a little bit and I'm going to go this way. Don't worry, we're going to put it on top of it in a minute. And then when I'm done there, I'm going to go back to the first one and I'm going to click and drag again. Okay, so it's close to being an 8. The problem is the inside, right? So again, I can take the point and I can click on it and drag right on top of the other one and I get a beautiful 8. So whoosh, I know it's hard, try it again. Again, it's a bunch of arcs. Think about what direction the curve is going in. Again, click, I'm going to drag, let my finger up, I'm going to click here and I'm going to drag this way. See how the arc's going that way? Let my finger up, I'm going to click down here. Drag that way, let my finger up. Again, don't click on the dot, it'll try and remove it. Click right underneath it. I'm going to click and drag, let my finger up, and then go back to the very first point, click and drag, and you got yourself a nice 8. And then, of course, put the dots right on top of each other. Ah, not that tool. Oh, I guess we could do that. We could remove one of those, but that, again, the white one, you can drag the point. There we go. Whoosh. That's the last number I'm going to do. So see if you can do that, and then we're going to move right into drawing some animals. Ooh, that's a little messy at the top. Make it a little cleaner. See if you can try that. I know it's a hard one. I know it's hard. That's a very nice 8. See if you can do it. You need to click and drag them all. Click and drag. No, you need to start over. I would just start over. Your second point's already messed up. Click down right underneath it and drag that way. Drag. You can't let your finger up. You have to drag. You have to start over. You're clicking and dragging. Don't let your finger up. No, put your cursor right underneath the other one. Click and drag that one. Drag with the mouse. There you go. Alright, hold the shift key down. Shift. There you go. Let your finger up. Go right underneath the other one. Come here. Down a little further. There you go. Click and drag that way. See how it goes like that. Let your finger up. Go right underneath this one. Nope, nope, not on top. No, right underneath it. No, you were close. No, go back underneath. Nope. Right there. Oh, no, no, no. Okay, if you click right on that dot, it's going to remove it. You can't. Right underneath the dot, right there. Right there. Click and drag that way. Click and drag. There you go. See how nice curve there? Let your finger up. Right on top of this one up here. On top of the dot. There you go. No, on top of that one. Click and drag. Drag that way. Too far. There you go. Let your finger up. And then use the white one. The white one. click on this dot and put it on top of the other one. Yeah, we can drag it up. Right there, let go. I know it's painful. When you make about 100 of them and you'll be good at it. Right? It's like karate class. You gotta punch about 1,000 times before you're good at it, right? I was a black belt. I've done probably 10,000 punches. Yeah, you get good at it after a while. Put your finger up, right underneath the other, down, down. Look at the arc already. Look at drag that way. There you go. See it going that way. Let your finger up. Look underneath it and drag that way. You know, going around. Look, oh my gosh, you're going in. Let your finger up. Go right underneath that one. Please, no, don't. Yeah, somewhere right there. There you go. Look and drag that way. There you go. We'll see how it's going around now. Let your finger up. Go right on top of the one on top. Oh, right on top. Look and drag that way. No, drag that way. There you go. And now use the white arrow and put these two dots on top of each other. Okay, let's move on. We're going to practice the pencil more. Okay, so we're going to draw animals. Animals are fun. Now, it's hard to draw an animal out of your brain unless you're somebody who knows, knows what animals look like. So, wouldn't it be easier just to go and download a picture of an animal and then import it into Illustrator and use it as a template to draw over top of it. So that's what we're going to do next. Let me pause this movie, or stop this